Would you be able to name all of them?
I can name all of them.
I have to admit there was one in there that I wasn't 1,000% sure.
Which one was that one?
Nondescript middle-aged dudes in a random picture. It's hard, man.
Yes, the similarity in their appearances was not lost on any of us. Anyway, let's move on from there. The one of them everyone could name is Brian Daboll, because he was the best one of them all last year. You can't coach any better than he did last year. Obviously, Coach of the Year, outstanding season, made the playoffs for the first time since 2016. But listen to the Giants owner John Mara yesterday in his comparison of Daboll to a famous singer.
We kid him. I mean, right now he's Bono walking around New York City. But I've told him, I said, in this business, it doesn't take long to go from Bono to Bozo. so don't get your head too big.
So we decided that this seemed like the perfect opportunity to debut a brand new game, and it is called Bono.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
All right, and as we approach the 5-year anniversary of this show, we have now officially reached the new low. Louis Riddick,
it's definitely a new low.
Down here is for me to ask you: are the Giants this year going to be more Bono or more Bozo? Which do you think?
Yeah, man, this is good. Look, they're going to be more Bono, and Bono's one of my favorite artists of all time.
Hold on, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we just can't pretend this isn't happening right now. Look what's on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. We have actually made Bono or Bozo pick bars. Jeremy, you notice anything about this?
There we go.
I'm the only Bozo.
Yes,
You're
sir.
the only Bozo.
Where's my red nose at?
Look,
right here.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Louis. So you have chosen Bono. Give us your take on that. Yeah.
Look, I like the way this organization is trending, man. I think Brian Daboll, if you know his history and you know his background, both personally and professionally, this isn't a guy who's going to rest on his laurels, man. He's not going to be one of those people who's going to walk around the city in them glasses, smoking cigars, sipping scotch, and thinking,
he's going to be smoking some crack.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I'm good. There's no more work to do. He's not even wired that way, not even a little bit. And honestly, he's got some, talk about rock stars, he's got some rock stars on his coaching staff. A guy like Mike Kafka, who's going to be a head coach next season. These guys are determined to make this offense better, to fix the defense. Wink Martindale's on the defensive side. Anybody who knows Wink knows that this is
I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Tonight, we're doing something special here because it is Angelica Baron's birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Angelica. What are you, 23 years old this year? Angelica, happy birthday. All right, so without further ado, we got prime time. We got game time, and we have DMV on the way. He had to help with the groceries. And every guy understands you got shit you got to do. Mm-hmm. What's up, prime time? What's going on?
It's going pretty good, man. Draft is slowly sneaking up, and
slowly.
And yeah. I mean, I wish it was tomorrow, honestly, but take what we can get. And so I have to wait a month away, and so I get to meet you guys. So I'm excited.
Dude, we are inside. It's 3 weeks and 5 days. 3 weeks and 5 days we'll be on the road.
Where's your counter? Where's your?
You know what? I actually do need. That's I'm going to start that tomorrow. As soon as I find the remote for it and see if it still works. The thing's gotten kind of old and I need to replace it. And I know we got my man Brian Green. Game time. What's up, man?
Oh, good, Mark Holmes. How are you, my man? What's going on?
Shit, man. I'm tired, boss.
You're all over the place.
I have been,
he
working
was like
on.
Me with James Nook.
Yeah.
Man, it's been crazy.
I'll put my address on the creeper down below. We'll shoot out my cell number. We'll be good.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, get ready. This is what it's going to be, man. You're going to be rooming with me for I don't know. Wait.
Well, we'll be
Thursday
carring with
night,
you 2 nights,
Friday night.
and then
Yeah.
Man, you're gonna be tired of me pretty quick.
No, are you kidding me, man? I go 1,000 miles an hour and stop. Well, not driving. I don't drive 1,000 miles an hour because, brother, man, you better not be speeding and where you not belonging to be. So I do the speed limit and stuff. But no, I'm always going 1,000 miles an hour, and I cannot wait to get going on the draft. Let me shout out all the lovely ladies in the place. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit them all and just do the sounds just all at one time, because we got Stacy Schubert, we've got Joanne Gonzalez, the birthday girl, we got Lola, Miss Hot Sauce, we've got Joanne Gonzalez, we have Alicia, what's up Alicia, Lady Libra, man, we got so many. See, that's why the Eagle fans are always in here, because we've always got all of the beautiful ladies. Shout out to the ladies, because it's always ladies night. Did I miss something about Daniel Jones where all of a sudden that he's a great quarterback and that Dak is trash? Did I miss the memo?
See, what happens is the time for everybody, it's reset, time to start talking new trash. Doesn't matter what happened last year, apparently. So, so this is what's starting to happen now.
No, I mean, all of a sudden, Mr. 15 touchdown passes.
They go by the contract. Oh, yeah.
Well, but I'm speaking of the contract. How come when Dak was getting $40 million, he was overpaid, and you can't win because you're paying him too much? They ain't talking about that no more now. Daniel Jones is getting it, but was it 22 or 24 touchdowns passes his rookie year? Every other year other than that, it's been under 20. Are you serious? That now all of a sudden, because I'm trying to understand, because they say, well, Dak's numbers don't count because they're garbage time. Okay, it's about wins. Well, how many times did Daniel Jones beat the Cowboys with Dak Prescott?
I think at some point in every quarterback's career, you defined him by something. Whether they made a comeback or they threw a throw that was caught for a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, and then you got guys like Dan Orlovsky. He runs out the back of the end zone. And it's the same thing with Daniel Jones. How many times when he was running down 70 yards or whatever, and he
falls down.
So I mean, yeah, everybody has a defining moment, and I think that may have been it.
I can't figure out game time.
Oh yeah, I never understood. I mean, what's his most touchdown passes in a year?
His rookie year was 24. And every other year, I mean, one year was 10. This year was
15.
Only 15. 15.
Right.
That's less than one a game.
So I guess what we're doing is we're going to take his whole body of work and only look at how he did this last year. But in Dak's case, we're going to throw out his whole body of work and just look at what he did. You know what I mean? It makes no sense, man. It's reversed. Dak has proven that he doesn't turn the ball over. Last year was an anomaly. Yet all of a sudden now he's dropping. It's just fine, man.
Did he have a broken thumb last year? Did he actually?
He did.
Did he have a plate in his thumb? But
and I don't understand the Eagles
that's
fans.
That's always missing when they talk about the turnovers.
Well, they also put his winning percentages against them out the window too. So,
but how about the 32 points a game we were scoring with who were we throwing to?
Yeah, Noah Brown.
Oh. We brought in a prospect. Oh man, I can't think of his name. He started out with Minnesota for 4 years. He was with, ended up being with Seattle last year. I think he was with the Jags, and maybe one other team. I forgot his name. He had 1,200 yards in his career. He's getting played in 76 games. He's had 1,200 yards and 5 TDs. Journeyman wide receiver. You know what's funny? Had he been on our roster opening week, he would have had more game experience than any receiver that we had. And he would have had second most touchdown receptions, because CD was the only one on our team to start the season that had an NFL touchdown. That's to let you know how bad and how inexperienced our wide receiver core was last year. I don't understand why people don't look at that and say, you didn't exactly have great talent around you. I'm just looking. I mean, that's just me. You know, I'm of course the Dak lover, as the trolls will say. Marley Greens, what's up? Alan Williams, how you doing? I see Twiz Digga is always in here, man. You know, he's a self-admitted cockroach. So, getting ready for the draft, you know, Jerry Jones said that, you know, don't be surprised. You know, Brandon Cooks, that was pretty big for us and things. But, you know, we're not done just yet. I think they're done. I don't think there's going to be a major move like we had heard about. You guys think there's another move coming?
Maybe a stoop. I mean, like, the history says that by now you make some kind of dumb move, whether it's to bring Zeke back, you know, wearing number 15. You know, after a good move, you kind of, you know, put your foot in your mouth. But, you know, they have followed it through with, like, Collins, you know, releasing him last year. And everybody was kind of like, you know, you made that mistake. And then Gregory,
was it, though?
you see what happened with Gregory.
He's about to be released.
All these things that looks like it's not going to be the greatest decision ends up being a really good decision. And there's a lot of Cowboy Nation, a lot of us that are, you know, they're screaming for these type of moves. You know, Collins, we have to, you know, so Tyron Smith, that whole thing. At least there was a restructuring there, and you know, you kind of, you know, you hear people saying things, but you're hoping that they make the right decision. And even though we've seen Jerry say something, we've seen also Mike come in like an hour or two later and kind of just trump what he says. So,
right.
Yeah, you know, I until Mike says it, I don't really, you know, take it to heart too much now.
It's a little earpiece. Okay, well, you know, at least you look at it right now and you got to say, man, the Cowboys actually filled in the roster pretty good. Carlos Watkins was just signed by the Texans. Seems like the Texans, I don't know if Eastside here. Oh, there's Eastside. There he is right there. It seems like all of the former Cowboy players are all headed to the Texans. Is it the Dallas Cowboys South now? Because you got Carlos Watkins, you got Noah Brown, you got Dalton Schultz. And the whole crew has gone south. Let me say... We got DMV who just joined into the crowd here, man. What's happening, DMV? How you doing, man?
Not much, man. I'm just chilling. So Carlos Watkins, did Houston kind of sweep in there? Because I thought he was with the Cardinals.
I thought, was it?
They went to Cardinals, yeah.
He went to Cardinals. I'm sorry. I thought he went to the Texans. Okay.
Yeah, he's with the Cardinals.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, Esau Harold ain't that lucky.
Okay, Cardinals. Okay, you know, I listen. I got about 3 hours sleep last night because I'm getting ready for
the got bashed into the Bengals. And he's saying that he's glad to be with the Super Bowl contender. So he's already got shots fired. I don't know. How come everybody leaves here? Is it because Catboy is so tight with his money that these guys leave here a little jaded? That's the only I can think of.
I think so.
They make him feel important, and then when they comes down, push comes to shove, they're not as important, and I think they feel a little bit, you know.
At the end of the day, you know, and we went and toured the Star. At the end of the day, that's all beautiful and all, but they really only have one concern. What are you doing for me and my family? And you know, you're charging me for lunch every damn week, right, Mark? So, you know what I mean?
Did you hear the quote from Tampa Bay's coach when he was talking? I didn't realize that he actually coached with the Commanders as well. So now you have 3 head coaches that were all with the Washington Commanders. And when he heard about how much the Commanders were going to be sold for, he literally said, and they literally charged me for coffee. I'm like, I couldn't get free coffee with them.
Well, I mean,
the richest NFL. Wow,
what a
football
flip,
franchise
though,
anywhere on the earth. And we got to
it was $550
for lunch.
Yeah.
Wow, what a flip.
It's crazy, man.
But I heard that the Cowboys players, they actually get charged for their lunch too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's like Don
We
King.
were there at the Star. Remember, they charge them. They take it out of their allowance. They can't even say we don't want lunch.
Right, you get charged for it, so you might as well eat. That's crazy because it
is.
They're going to get you one way or the other. Okay, so we are looking at the crew plus David Wiley is the only one who's not here. This is our draft day crew draft days because it's 3 days and we're going to be on the road together preing. Is everybody excited about that? That's all I want to know. Are you excited?
I better be, man. I've been putting a lot of work in on this stuff. So, but I mean,
I got a little draft fatigue a little bit. Like it's just.
But it's a little different when you get out there and it's that fresh draft air, and you're around all the like the NFL like event stuff. Like it's a lot different. So trust me.
Curious to see what they have there.
Have any of y'all been to a draft before?
Yeah, I've been to two.
No.
Which two have you been to?
I've been to the one with you in Dallas, and I've been to the draft last year in
Vegas. Yeah. That's right. You came in. Yeah, you flew in later. That's right. I was at the Dallas one. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Radio City Music Hall and Philadelphia. I hate to say it, but Philadelphia did it really nice. It was really nice there in Philadelphia.
I think Kansas City's going to do it right.
I think Kansas City. It's going to be downtown. It's the World War I museum and things. So it'll definitely. Hey, it's football talk. Okay, we're looking at all the future stars and everything else. Now, I've been having a discussion with you guys.
Okay.
Because the mock drafts, truth in advertising. Let me say, okay, for. Stan out there who's like, well, he of course admits he doesn't watch college football. I don't do mock drafts. I don't do mock drafts, man. I just don't. I think it's a waste of time. Although my man Game Time there said it's simulation, man. So it's just like war games. Okay, so you're trying to get in there. So if this happens, that happens, we know how to react.
There's a reason why all the NFL front offices, when they build their board, they do precisely that. Now they're more knowledgeable than I would imagine. Obviously they spend a lot of money, especially our front office, but they, mock it up because they want to know. They want to group players. If there's a heavy area where, like, obviously, running back is heavy, tight end is heavy. There's linebackers kind of heavy, guards not so much. You need to know these things before you go into the draft. So it does have a place. But with you, I do get annoyed when I see people all over Twitter saying, here's my mock. Well, most of these simulators are crap as far as their ratings. You're not going to get. And I know DMV posted one, and we were laughing because, we would love to get all those guys.
Laughing straight to the bank.
But
East Side, shout out to East Side. Mark, make sure you get some Texans content. All right, I'll be making sure I look to see. I'll look for a horse droppings for you. Okay, there, buddy. Shout out to Mike Gage, 21 months as a Jobu member. Okay, so back to where I was saying that I'm just not that mock draft guy. But listening to people, of course, they get a name stuck in their head. So now we've got Bijan Robinson. Everybody's like, the Cowboys are going to fall and everything else. And for me, it's like, if he's falling, it's because running backs, nobody wants them anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's like all of a sudden, everybody's trying to get rid of their backs. I hear that Minnesota is thinking about getting rid of Dalvin Cook.
I can see that. I mean, he's been there for so long. It's
like, they don't want to hit that $14 million. And, Derrick Henry, they've been trying to trade him all off season. We know what happened with Zeke. He's gone. Quite frankly, Barkley may have screwed up when they offered him $12.5 million and he turned it down on a long-term deal. He may not get $12.5 million. I think for the first time, the tag price for running backs may go backwards this year.
Well, they're actually trying to reverse it on the quarterbacks too. If we want to talk about that too.
I think
Mark has been bad for every position.
I think that's by design. I think the owners are like, okay, yeah, the salary cap's rising and all that, but we got to stop this shit. You have not seen any crazy free agent signings, and people are worried about like taking Hopkins' $19 million contract, right now. But I think that you're going to be able to still get some of these guys because these teams don't want to hold on to that cap. I think the longer it goes, the better the chance that Hopkins goes elsewhere. Cheap.
Yeah, probably more than likely.
By June 1st or so, right now.
Look at it.
I could see him a draft day. I could see him as a draft day guy too.
We're going to look at it like a Bobby Wagner situation. It's like, man, that's all it took. But, just to let everybody know, Bobby wanted to go back to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
You would have had to have significantly paid him more to come here.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him if that's where he wanted to be. So
shout out to a new channel member, Michelle. Michelle, go to the community tab. In there is a link for members only that'll take you to our Thrive site, so I can get you your shot glass.
Brian.
So there's still
Looks nice.
There's still an opportunity to get some really good free agents, and I think that'll be that second wave. The Cowboys will have the $11 million from Zeke. We got 13.2 right now, so we still got $24 million that they could potentially play with. Some of that'll get eaten up by the rookie class, but it won't be that bad because we draft so late in the first round. So we still could have about $18 million to kind of play with. I doubt they'll use it.
Has any of you guys heard any whispers of them wanting to do a deal with CD, Diggs, and or either one, both of them? Don't you think that's like a high priority, or are we going to do what we always do and let them get all the leverage?
I think the Cowboys have used the franchise tag more than any team out there.
But, I mean, don't you want to get a deal done? It seems like we always do that. We always let it go to the franchise. Then we always, it's like we're training every
I don't think it's, I
I
think they'll get it done sometime during the season, because here's what they're going to do. At some point, they'll go through and they'll get Dak's contract done, put an extension on him. I think they're waiting until, that the NFL keeps pounding down on these contracts and getting guys down cheaper. And then they'll get a deal done, which will free up some more revenue to be able to sign those guys. The first year is always team friendly. Most of that money's down the road. They'll get that done. I think I think they're more worried about building this roster right now. Reven S. Shout out to Reven S.
Take the money out, all of it.
Cowboys will either take Darnell or Bijan or a guard or Clancy in the first round. Okay, you can add another 10 guys to it. They'll either take one of these 20 guys.
Yeah.
But here's okay. So, are you guys on board that if Bijan is there, we got to take him?
I'm not against it. I'm not against it because it just depends on how the board is going. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like running back isn't a position that we can't use. Like, and the reason that I say that is, when I was talking to the guys last night, it's like you want to still be able to draft for the future as well. Now, Tony Pollard, $10 million as far as the franchise tag, but you don't know if they're going to get a deal done with Tony Pollard going in the future. If you're in the position right now to take a back, then you're not worried about Tony Pollard the next year, and you kind of cycling it out. And I still think that even if you get a back, you can still get a lineman, you can still get defensive linemen. I just think that Bijan is a top 15 talent, so you got to consider it. I'm not saying that it's what I want, but it should be something that, we're not surprised at, because CD, when he fell to us, was something we needed, but we didn't need. Like, we needed a number 2, but we ended up getting the best receiver in that draft, or one of them.
But haven't we all been on board with Tony Pollard being the lead back? Aren't we paying him $10 million for a franchise? Because here's where a little birdie kind of whispered in my ears.
Those same people were the ones pushing for Cooper Rush to be the starter.
Okay, all right. But
so,
the Cowboys pushed a franchise tag that's $10 million they're putting in there. So don't tell me we're spending $10 million for him to be second fiddle.
That's what we're doing.
Think about I think it's more of a test.
He's a weapon.
With Schultz.
He's a Swiss Army knife, as they like to say. He's gonna be slotted out. He's gonna get his running, but you saw. Listen, last year was his first year with. I want to say how many carries? Help me out. It's like around 180 carries. And he broke down. He was breaking down.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't know what he's going to end up being like either, coming off an injury. You don't know.
Right. That's exactly it. He had a broken leg with some ligament issues. I don't know the extent of it. Supposedly he either needs or needed a second surgery just for the ligaments. Come on, man. Let's just.
Okay. Well,
I told you
here's what
I didn't want
said.
to put him in the franchise, and I was right, because look at it now.
I didn't either.
That guy's re-signing for
chump change.
Yeah.
When I was looking at that draft pick with Bijan, I'm with DMV. I wouldn't be against it. I get excited about the weapons that you have, especially if you need somebody, because you don't know what Pollard's going in. But I think I like the non-sexy picks, man. I like the offensive line, the defensive line. 'Cause I look back what we were all bitching about last year. We were bitching about how we couldn't stop the run. This is what
and get pressure up the
Dallas
middle.
is really good at striking gold on that first round. And so, if I was going to strike gold anywhere, I would want it on that defensive interior or, that offensive line. It's just, that's where I want to. I think of Zach Martin when we think of, non-sexy picks at the time, but, everybody was ranting and raving about getting the quarterback. What was his name? Johnny Manziel.
Money.
And so,
Money
that's the pick.
Shit.
Jerry, he likes his guys and he's going to be there. And then they've picked Zach Martin, and look what Zach's been for us, Okay. And so that's the pick I like.
Yeah. Now here's what a little birdie whispered in my ear. Sometimes I get some really good intel. The Cowboys are looking at big running backs, such as
don't say it. Don't say his name.
Tank Bigsby.
No. Well, UCLA's Zach Carba.
No.
Hold on, just listen.
Kendrick Miller.
Mississippi's Zach Evans.
Is Troy Hambrick, basically.
Auburn's Tank Bisbee.
Dude, I don't.
Pitt, Israel.
More.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want
Dwayne McBride.
No, I like him. He's all right.
Because I think where this actually kind of makes sense is they're looking to say we need a pounding, short yardage guy.
Dwayne McBride looks like Emmett a little bit.
Okay.
He kind of runs. And
Who looks like Emmett?
McBride.
I kind of think Sean Tucker reminds me of Emmett. He even wears number 22.
Amazing.
Yeah, he wears number 22.
Yeah, Phil's been talking Tucker for a while.
Okay.
I like Bigsby. I know they love Kendra Miller. And
I think Kendrick's perfect for what we need.
I would love
Sean Tucker. And here's my wild card, man. This is my wild card. He's a backup on his own team right now, but I think he's going to be a stud. He reminds me because he's not real fast.
Georgia.
But his feet. Both of those. I like Roshan Johnson and McIntosh out of Georgia.
Yeah.
I like both of those guys. So it's so deep. I'm hoping Bijan is gone. Trust me, people. All these Eagle fans think we want Bijan. No, all I'm saying is just like
you wouldn't
CD,
be.
you have to. I mean, okay. So what are you gonna do? You gonna take Avila over Bijan? Okay, I'm not gonna. It's probably better for us, but how can we window dress our board? That's all I'm saying. Well, you can't. You got to go with the talent, man. You line them up. Well, you shouldn't be going way out of the way to take a name. So,
but I'm gonna tell you, Bijan's 6 feet, 220, and I mean he moves like a scat back and can run you over and catch the ball.
I love him.
He's a weapon. He's not just a running back, and that's kind of how you got to look at it. Between him and Gibbs, they're weapons.
That's why I said you got to take him. If he's there at 26, he's a top 10 talent. These rankings are ridiculous.
It's just something you don't get disappointed about. That's the thing. If it happens, you're just
remember
we
were all disappointed, or at least I was when Zach Martin was drafted because all of our guys that we wanted were taken, and we're like, oh man, no.
The same thing happened with Travis Frederick too. When we moved back,
that one came out.
That one. I wanted a D lineman. I forget who I wanted. Oh, he's a D lineman coach for us now. That's who I wanted. I forget his name. He's D lineman coach.
Yeah, and it was yes. Sometimes those are the good years, when you get wiped out and you just stick to your board instead of trying to. As long as it's not a Taco Charlton situation.
Well, there's no guarantee on any of the players.
Tacos right there.
And that's my thing about defensive linemen, right? In this draft, unless a defensive lineman talent drops to us, I don't know if I necessarily. I mean, there's maybe a couple that I'd take at 26, but. Unless it's Jalen Carter fall into it, I would take Jalen Carter. I don't care. Well, I would take him.
Yeah. But what the biggest pooch screw we did was?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to say it. Go ahead.
Letting Ridgeway go. That was the dumbest shit that they did. I don't know what
we should have let Kelvin go, or we should have let one of them D-backs go. Or
we should have hung out Watkins.
Tristan Hill should have been his
It was Hill. It was Hill.
But Hill did get let go. We cut him.
Mark, that was his boy. Tristan Hill. He loved him some Tristan Hill.
Who?
You.
He balled out in camp.
Loving him.
He balled out in camp.
Tristan Hill?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he had a great camp.
No. When we drafted Tristan Hill, the amount of safeties that were on the board, after him, Warren Thornhill. I mean, pretty much every
Thornhill,
great,
you're right.
Shoot, he's out there right now. All them safeties we wanted are out there.
But I'm just saying though, we ended up reaching for Tristan Hill, who couldn't get along with his coaches in high school. He had, basically he had to sign a form saying, "I'll be at practice for Rod Martinelli." It's just like that's what they always do with the second round picks is try and get a guy that they think has first round talent, and he's scratching dead and ends up being fucked up.
Not so much as of lately. What I will say is they've gotten better at second round picks for the most part with Mike McCarthy, except for like Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, boss man.
Okay.
No, because Diggs was a second round pick.
Well, Diggs was.
So was Sam Williams.
Okay, and so was
I will gotta
Jalen
say,
Smith.
Man, that draft was perfect.
But that wasn't Mike McCarthy,
it wasn't
though.
perfect.
That was
they
Garrett.
took all the guys I wanted. That never happened.
Well, hopefully
We
Sam
got
Williams
CD,
also
we got
turns that
Diggs.
around too.
I mean, I in my opinion, I don't think they gave him. They didn't give him the snaps that he needed because I think the snaps that he did play, he played very, very well last year.
Well, I tell you what, if we take another edge rusher, I'm going to lose it.
Why?
Big man, listen. You need the interior guys, man.
But again,
You can have the greatest outside rushers there. You can have Charles Haley in his prime, but if you don't get a push
there's
in
no
the middle, they're going to get
interiors in
run
the first
past.
round, Mark, is what we're saying.
I didn't say it in the first round, but I'm just like, if you're spending the second, third rounds on edge rusher and still not going for defensive line, come on, man.
But why can't you get edge rushers? Why can't you get threes and why can't you get ones? Like the way that this D lineman draft is set up, it's about as deep as running back. This is a really good defensive
Well, then you need to
draft.
focus on the interior defensive line. That is a spot that we just have not had. I thought Gallimore was going to be good, and ever since he ended
we
up,
still have him.
ever since he had that hyperextended elbow, he has not been the same guy.
We still got Osa,
but he's still a little light in the ass though.
But we need to replace the
He's
guys
fast,
like we did with Noah Brown.
but sometimes you need that immovable force in there, that big fat ass to clog the middle.
Well, I mean, we did just re-sign. We re-signed Hankins.
I know Hankins.
I'm talking about you need some depth. I get what you're saying.
There's not much there though.
But I'm saying like who would you like second, third round? And I mean I know that you haven't really watched the college players like that, so I asked the guys like who would you say is a one tech or the one techs that have second and third round grades for you guys? I mean I got Ika from Baylor. That's one.
What about Mozzie Smith? Right?
Yeah, Mozzie. I think I got a second round grade on Mozzie. But he might not make it. He might not make it.
Piano Benton.
Yeah, Benton. I think Benton's probably like a third or fourth. But
what's that one?
Yeah,
Texas, Texas
he's about
has
third, but he's a big boy.
I think the Texas one is like he reminds me a little bit of Neville Gallimore.
Jomo. I like him a lot. But see, like like a fourth round grade on him, fourth round grade on. I really think your sweet spot is third, fourth round, maybe not second, but third.
Okay.
I don't like
Dallas
Brian
doesn't
Brzee.
draft. Yeah.
Zach Pickens is probably my favorite of the one techniques. Personally.
The one that I think is fooling people that I
How about Roy at LSU?
Roy, I don't like Roy. That's the one exactly.
Yeah, I didn't really like his tape too much.
No.
I don't like his tape too much.
I feel like he's just kind of like getting.
Because Mark mentioned him in one of his videos. So it's like,
that's because the Cowboys brought him in for a visit. They brought him in for a visit.
He brought him in for a visit.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
local, I
hope
believe,
that,
too.
you got a great coach in Dan Quinn. So, utilizing people. If he's making that decision, then
you got the dude out of Michigan State.
You said the one from Baylor, right?
Slade.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, the thing you got to say is Dan Quinn has been hitting on more guys, between him and Will McClay on that defense. You have not seen a whole lot of guys that just weren't crap. I mean, that's where I still look at, if you look at John Ridgway's numbers with the Commanders this year, they are as good as anybody that we have on our defensive line last year. David Wiley, there is our fifth wheel. The trip. David Wiley, what's up?
He's asking about Avila from TCU. I would just say this. If that's who you want, then don't mess around and just take him at the 26 because he's not going to be there at 58.
Yeah, he'll be there at 26 though. He'll be there.
But I mean, just take him. So if that's who you want, don't get cute. I'm on board with trading down maybe somewhere into the 30s, the low 30s. You get yourself another top 100 pick. And then, I'm ready to roll. But if you really want him, then that's when you need to take him.
I agree. For me, I feel like the floor. That's my floor pick right now. Like at worst, I'm getting Steve Avila, and he's gonna come in and be my starter day one. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. The only way I'm not taking him is if some talent falls.
That's
like a guy that I really
man.
like. That's how I feel about going.
It's about 10 guys I can identify who are those talents, but there's a couple guys that if they fall,
Yeah, like.
Well,
go ahead, Mark.
I have been more concerned about the tight end position. I love Jake Ferguson. I love Peyton Hendershot. And but you guys are kind of like, we've got that guy. We've got the security blanket.
Well,
on
I still
here.
want more.
Well, I mean, I'm not. I
don't want it in the first
I forgot.
round, but I want another guy.
No, but I mean, my thing is like, there's nobody in the draft, and I can say this confidently. Yeah, I can say this confidently. There's nobody in the draft better than the guys we got right now. Like starting right now, no off-season program, no nothing. None of these guys are better. None of them.
They all got flaws, even the guys in the first round.
I think the guys that you got further back are just bigger.
I got a name for you, Mark.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking for a tight end 3 in this draft. I'm not looking for a tight end 1.
Well, Mark's in love with Darnell Washington. I don't think that he fits what the Cowboys are.
I agree.
Are going to do. But I got a name for you who I know that they are. Well, there's 2 guys I like later on after Washington. One is the dude from Clemson.
Oh, Davis Allen. Yeah.
Davis Allen. And there's another guy, Mark, you're going to get excited about this. Zach, I've been saying it to Phil. Zach Kuntz. Zach Kuntz. Well, do you know, and I know that they like Zach Kuntz. Now, you're talking about Darnell Washington, Mark. He's 6'6".
Ooh.
Well, you know Darnell Washington. He's 6'6", 264, and he runs a 4.6. Well, Zach Kuntz is 6'7", 255, and runs a 4.55. So Zach Kuntz, who I know they really like, out of Old Dominion, he's enough. But I like Davis Allen. I think he's more well-rounded. But there's plenty of guys. We're skipping over.
Davis is kind of a lot like the guys we got right now.
Yeah, and nobody's like, you know what I mean? Nobody is better. Like Kincaid, he's limited.
He's old, bro. Nobody's talking about how old he is.
Yeah, he's 24 now. He'll play at 25.
Yeah. So I like Josh Wiley from Cincinnati. That's guy. He's a big dude.
Musgrave's good. I love Musgrave.
I got a sleeper for you guys.
Shout out to Al Walton.
I got a sleeper for you guys.
Who's your sleeper?
So I got an opportunity to watch him the other day, and he's not as big as those guys, but he blocks really well. High points to football. Out of Penn State, Brenton Strange. I watched him the other day. I'm just like, wow, like he offers a dimension that we just don't have. Yeah, you can get him later. Yeah. Different dimension. Big Ten.
I think last year he had a really good game against like Auburn, and so in like high competitions, he's done pretty good.
Yeah, he reminds me of when I watch him. I see Darren Waller. The way he goes up and gets that football. Healthy. Yeah.
Well, he ran a 4.7, but
it's kind of like
he finds a way to get open.
Think about the fact that the Cowboys for a long time were trying to find that basketball type player. Rico Gathers trying to go up there and get it. I mean, that's a great addition if you could get him. Yeah.
Shout out to Edwin Strickland.
Crazy thing is,
close the gap between 58 and 90. Trade 58 to get 66 and 103.
I don't have the Jimmy Johnson draft grade chart.
Okay.
But,
Dennis, we will be there tomorrow. Yes. Here's a question for you guys. Okay, it's like when you change defense from a 3-4 to a 4-3, it takes some time because you got to get the right personnel. Does anybody see a problem with us going from the good old Jason Garrett offense to the West Coast at all? No concerns whatsoever?
No, I don't.
I mean, the offensive lineman, it's more of that zone blocking where it's you got quick hook where you're dealing with angles and things as opposed to running a guy over.
They probably already had West Coast because every offense for the most part has West Coast principles. You know what I'm saying? High, medium, to flats or all that.
We're talking about Kellen Moore.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about how Kellen Moore called it. So like Mike McCarthy said, they're not going to really change too much of what they're doing. It's just
About
you know
30%.
they're just gonna add some West Coast terminology to it.
I can see him rip it. I can see this is Mike McCarthy going to the playbook. Okay, let's look at Kellen Moore's playbook. Okay, let's screw that. Okay, we'll keep this, right? I can see him doing that to a lot of the playbook because, as he put it, we want to be playing fast and we want to simplify it.
Agreed.
And that's where, you remember when we had Mike Nolan with the defense and you had all the defensive players that are literally saying, it's too complex. You don't want a player to have to think. You want the player to be able to go out there and just react.
Yeah.
And so sometimes maybe there were too many reads in there for Dak.
Well, especially
and
two people reading.
Between the receiver and Dak and everything else. And it's kind of like, okay, maybe some of these interceptions are because you both are trying to read and everybody's illiterate. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. It could be. And so maybe that's where Mike McCarthy may be better.
Because Mike McCarthy is on record as saying he's not a fan of the option routes, and Dak's on the record, rightly so. Even though we see a couple of bad plays and say you take him out of the playbook, a lot of our biggest plays of the year came on the option route.
Well,
so
because he doesn't know any better. That's why.
But you know what I mean? That option route kills defenses. But
Witten made a career of that, of the
page.
Y option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But that's a lot closer where you can make that throw a little bit better. I don't know about Dak. I still wouldn't even trust Dak to throw that underneath because he always seems to not see that linebacker sitting in the zone, and
For the most part, though, it's only been this year. I know early on he had a little bit of issue with that, but it seemed like when the lights came on, he didn't really.
He's throwing off his back foot.
Yeah, throw the interceptions. This year was an anomaly. People were just running with what happened this year, like this is Dak Prescott. I guess we're gonna just forget everything else that happened. Just a year before, he threw 35 touchdowns, 10 INTs, and 4,500 yards. I guess we're just gonna forget that.
Well, I kind of feel like this, man. Like, how aren't people excited about Dak coming into the season? He's actually going to get coached.
Oh,
and he's actually going to get coordinators and guys that are going to hold him accountable that have been the places that he wants to get to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Kellen Moore, hell, that's like, it's hard to explain, but really, you beat the guy out that's coaching you. Like what the hell more does Kellen Moore know than Dak Prescott?
Right. Well, you look at actually our coaching staffs throughout the years. Rod Martinelli, I think, is probably not the only one that had actually been on a Super Bowl winning team. When you start talking about guys like Scott Linehan that were, fired head coaches for the Lions and things, and Kellen Moore coming from the Lions to the Cowboys, and now you're the offensive coordinator. Your pedigree is the Lions and Scott Linehan. Come on, give me somebody that's been there. So at least, Mike McCarthy makes mistakes, and and maybe they're amplified because it's the Dallas Cowboys. But I've seen plenty of coaches making bad, clock management issues that nobody talks about. But I'll take a guy who at least has won some games, including the Super Bowl, and had success in the playoffs over Kellen Moore, and Jason Garrett, who never did.
I was hoping that when Mike took over the job, that he was going to be calling plays anyway. I wish it was day one.
Don't understand that one, because that was the craziest thing is you got a guy who's won Super Bowls and coached two of the best quarterbacks in the history of football.
Yeah,
and you're deferring to a guy who was basically just a backup.
Remember when he came in?
He probably coached more than that because before he was a head coach,
San Francisco offensive coordinator. He was the one that ended up. The reason Aaron Rodgers didn't like him was because he wanted Alex Smith as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wanted to go to, being a Cali guy, wanted to go to San Francisco, and so he always held it against him. So he has paid his dues from position coaching, offensive coordinator to head coach. Kellen Moore was quarterback coach and now offensive coordinator. That's the freaking Jason Garrett thing. 1 year of a quarterback coach with Miami, and then you become offensive coordinator and head coach. Come on, man. There's no experience there.
I feel like what he's done is almost a miracle with having to navigate around what the Joneses are doing with Kellen Moore and all of that stuff, and we still win.
And then the players he had last year,
12 wins, back-to-back years. I think that with that he showed like, I'm the guy. Like, you think it's him? No, I'm the guy. So let's listen to what I have to say now, because I got to where you're trying to get to in your own stadium. So listen to me now.
You know, it's sad because here it is. They focused in on Dak Prescott's turnovers. Nobody's talking about Josh Allen's, right? Josh Allen had more turnovers.
But at this time last year, it was
and they
how
both
many
were
yards?
sitting on the couch the same week.
It's because Dallas moves the needle. Because last year at this time it was Trayvon's yards given up.
But all of a sudden, you know, Daniel Jones, who missed 15 touchdown passes, you know, gets $40 million a year. Ain't nobody saying that he's overpaid. And now all of a sudden he's a top 10 quarterback better than Dak Prescott. And it's like this guy's never beat Dak Prescott. So how is it?
It's because they feel bad for the franchise, man. He went 4 Super Bowls in a row and they lost them, and like they're not. Usually those people that hate, there's usually because there's a championship. Think about how many people hate the Patriots now, you know, and because of all those championships. I mean, I know I grew up and I never met a Patriots fan. And then all of a sudden now they're just everywhere. So it's,
Patriots and Seahawk fans.
Well, I hated the Eagles before they won.
Yeah, this is true.
I still hate them.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to hate them. It is what it is.
There's a difference.
What's up, Philadelphia?
Yeah.
David Wiley. Shout out David Wiley, $2 super chat. What about the tight end from Notre Dame?
Oh, Mayer? Right?
Yeah, Michael Mayer. He's going to be with Green Bay.
Big dude.
That's what's going to happen. I like him now.
I want a big target, man.
I
want a security
get one
blanket,
later,
man.
I'm telling you, we got it now. We have two
I
of them.
told him that last night.
We got 2 of them, bro.
Yeah.
Like
George,
I like
look,
Ferguson.
George Cavosis, today's your birthday, buddy. You and Angelica Barone, happy birthday to you, buddy.
Yeah, because who think about the Philadelphia game last year in Philadelphia. Who was eating? Both of them. Both. We have secure. We look when Dalton Schultz came back. They said we're gonna push him out there because we're paying him that franchise tag money.
Yeah.
He really ate up snaps because both of those guys, they were ready to go. And when he was out, I made this point on my channel the other day. When he was out, we didn't miss a beat. Matter of fact, we was like, keep his ass out.
Yeah, and he came back still kind of hurting because I think he could kind of see.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I'm
right
losing on that contract.
He knew those young boys was playing, and he was missing out. Matter of fact, he started blocking better because they were blocking and they set the tone. So, like I said, they just need more snaps, similar to Sam Williams.
Well, it sounds like you guys are on board with basically the best player available because we have kind of unlike last year where we basically wholesaled and got rid of so many players. We are kind of at a spot where we could make it in just about everywhere if we have to and pick up some other free agents.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the draft is wide open. Edward Strickland, draft defensive lineman, Brian Young from Alabama, excuse me, at 100 or 120.
That's probably. I think that's a good spot. Those are probably good spots to get him. I would say. I'm not, but I think it's good value.
What do you know about Jalen Carter?
What do I know about him? He's probably the best defensive player in this draft. I know that he had a hiccup and he didn't really show up in shape to his pro day, probably dealing with whatever he was dealing with. But if he's at 26, I take him in a heartbeat. Like, y'all be mad. Y'all be like, oh, well, we could get man, look, I'll wait to 58 to see what I can get. But
he's the top talent in the draft, so.
But didn't he have something off the field that happened?
Yeah, he's got some issues. He's immature. Okay.
Yeah, so did Micah Parsons has some issues too, and some really nasty rumors.
That sounds like a Dallas Cowboys second round pick to me. He's got issues. You know, we go for them.
Be nowhere near us. He's gonna go. Man, when he drops, he'll be in the teens if he drops that far.
These GMs are lying. They're gonna take him. They're gonna take him. Oh, he's off my board. Come on, like
they're all salivating. They're hoping he drops to him. Like the Eagle, I just hope he goes before Philly because that would be a great pick for them.
Yeah, Philly they will reunite that defensive line that was just a terror at Georgia, man.
So, are you saying if he's there at 26, you'd take him?
Absolutely, without hesitation.
He's like number one on. These quarterbacks always get elevated. So you could sit here. I mean, they just get elevated. He's probably the overall most talented guy in the draft. So, you know, That's what I'm telling you, Mark. As much as we want an offensive lineman, if he drops, then he trumps Bijan. There's only a couple guys.
I tell you what, if you get me a big stud in the middle, man, I'd be happy as
Ridgeway
shit.
who? We'd be like,
No, I would say, wouldn't it be nice had he still been here with Ridgeway too?
Well, they drafted him. That's the scary part. They never dangled their young guys like that.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Dangled him, and we kept the guy who just left. Carlos Watkins. We kept Mark's boy. What's his name?
Gallimore.
Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep talking about me and Tristan Hill.
Because remember I was telling you last year.
You were like Tristan Hill was balling.
Dude, man, you were like, he's gonna have a monster year. I'm like,
he got early one of the first practices he got jacked up by Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
And then the rest of training camp, he turned it around for the first time in his career. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm ecstatic, because here's the thing. Me, DMV, all of us, we're not on the payroll for the Cowboys, but damn if we don't try and make shit shine for them. Here was when we signed James Washington. He averaged 14.9 yards.
I told y'all James Washington wasn't a good signing.
But we still try and find, at least me, I at least try and find something positive. So I'm sitting there like, hey, he's showing up now in training camp for the first time. He's actually looking good.
So
he's
did
beating
the
people.
Receiver, the tall guy. You remember everybody?
Oh, he had the one catch.
I told y'all he was. What a chat at? I told y'all he was terrible.
Dude, he's fast. He's tall. I'm like, yeah, but he can't run a route.
If you're 6'6" and you didn't get drafted, you suck. All right.
Okay.
I just like poking you, but it's just like very frustrating that we let this young guy go. He reached out to Mark too, right? He reached out.
Yeah, we're following each other on Instagram, man. Yeah, he's cool.
Hey, you never know. Just maybe he'll come full circle.
He's like,
and we can get him back. Maybe they'll make a mistake.
where are your Cowboys, John Ridgeway jersey next time?
Hey, you never know. He might drop by one day and come over here and get some Jobu wings.
There you go.
He might.
Yeah, John Ridgeway and your family too, because he said his family appreciates watching the videos and stuff on there. You guys are invited anytime you want to come over to the man cave. I can definitely bring some barbecue and some Jobu wings.
Yeah, just leave Snyder and them at home.
Oh, Snyder's out the door. Okay.
He gone.
Allegedly, he's actually now no longer adverse to Jeff Bezos writing the big check.
Because Jeff's going to come in with his like an extra billion is why.
Right, an extra $1 billion right there. And since, the NFL probably wants him, since he's already paying the NFL $1 billion for that shit sandwich of Thursday night football.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
He's probably going to have pickups. He's probably going to have pickups for his fans to get to the stadium. little white vans, Amazon white vans come to pick the fans up.
Oh, Edward Strickland would take Jordan Allison at 26. Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. What do you guys think about this? They're bringing in all these receivers. They brought in Treadwell. They brought in DJ Montgomery.
Yeah.
I don't see them drafting. I mean, my favorite guy out of TCU is going to be. He just keeps rising and rising. Now I see some mocks where they have him over, in Jigba. So
obviously, Quentin Johnson's amazing, but sorry, go ahead, DMV.
No, you go. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say that my favorite receiver is that Jackson Smith Najib.
Yeah,
mine too. I think he's number one.
Yeah. He was
clearly
number one, but now you start seeing, Quentin over him. Like our mock, they took Quentin last night.
Hey, look, I tell you what, if Quentin is at 26, I would take him.
Yeah.
I would take him.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's about 10 guys that I would take at 26, but I would take him because he offers a dimension in the receiving room that we don't have, but he also has the ability to, like, if you look at what Mike McCarthy had receivers and what they looked like in Green Bay, he fits that mold. Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson,
Greg Jennings.
Yeah, Greg Jennings. He fits that mold, and we don't have that guy on our offense right now. So I think he would eventually be your guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like Phil asked me that last night.
Yeah.
Phil asked me last night, and I do not want to move up, but I said if it was a small, maybe a couple spots, and you only had to give up a something nothing substantial,
Fourth or
he
fifth.
would be the guy that I would want to give up for because I think he's that good. But I don't want to give up. I don't want to have to give up anything to move up. But I love him as a receiver. But he's flying up the charts, man. He ain't gonna get nowhere near us.
See, that's the funny thing about it because see, people were killing him just like last week, talking about he was a body catcher,
Crazy.
this and that, and I was tweeting like, bro,
Oh,
Randy
yeah.
Moss was a body catcher. Randy Moss did the same things then that he's doing now. If Randy Moss came out today, they would crucify him.
Hey, Gina Dallas Diva, what's
All the
up?
troublemaking that he was doing, and
Yeah. I think this is it for Josh Ball, Gina. I think that
hopefully.
like guys like Josh Ball, the guys who haven't made any impact and they're going into year 3. I mean, it's either a crap or get off the pot for Fahoko.
Absolutely. Yes.
We need to figure out what's going on with Jabril Cox. It's just a lot of guys that are taking up a roster spot that aren't really doing much.
Get them off the roster. That's what
You know
this
what I
draft
mean?
is about for me. It's about if I can get a guy off the roster, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get the best players to do so. And like you brought up, you said that we've made the moves so that we can get almost anything. Hell, we can get a quarterback if we want.
Yeah, we got the guy from TCU that he said that the Cowboys, Jets, and
Max Duggan.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Hendon.
I'm just saying that the Cowboys have showed interest in him, of course.
I like Aiden. I like Aiden from Purdue too.
I think your backup should be like your starter.
Yeah, if I could push Cooper Rush off the roster, I'm gonna push him off the roster if I can find a quarterback better than him.
Say it isn't so, man, because you got the Dak haters that are waiting. Oh, we got Cooper Rush in the wings, man.
Yeah, exactly. So look at it this way: Cooper Rush was on the market for how many days before he came back whimpering?
Oh, but yeah. Well, there's a lot of guys that are on the market that all of a sudden are finding out that there ain't nothing out there. That market is dry.
Well, I'm just saying there are teams that needed a quarterback, and nobody thought, oh, he finished 4-1. Like maybe we can get him as a bridge. Maybe he didn't want to leave Dallas. I mean, there's that possibility. But I mean, if somebody's throwing a bag at you, if they're like, "Hey, we want you to come start quarterback," I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have turned that down. You don't turn down that opportunity. He came back for cheap. You know what I'm saying? So
quite cheap. And are you guys surprised about Odell? That he's still?
Yeah, a little bit.
Per Mike Fisher, he's looking for $15 million.
Seems like to me that there's some serious collusion going on with these owners.
I really believe it. So
something's fishy because money is not being spent like I thought
James,
it
that would
would,
be great.
and it's across the board, across positions for crying out loud. You can't even say it's a position; it's every position. It's almost like everybody's saying, and everybody's hating that deal that the Cleveland quarterback got.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was.
Sean Watson.
Yeah,
I think that's the straw that broke the camel's back because he really didn't. He didn't even play. You know what I'm saying? And you spent all of that money. So now players are just going to say, "Hey, well, look."
He did play some games, but it's amazing that nobody talked about how bad it was.
Yeah,
I think he had like 6 TDs and 5 interceptions over 6 games, 7
they
games.
were so desperate to
terrible.
get him that they gave him a contract. But
That was
listen,
just
I'm not
crazy.
going to begrudge him. He got what he got. God bless him. But it seems like, man, everybody is just not spending. I actually feel sorry for Lamar, but.
I feel terrible for him, man. I feel terrible.
I think he should have taken that 3-year guaranteed deal though, and then stepped back in the pool in 3 years. And I think he could make more money in the long run. They offered him a 3-year guaranteed. I think it was 130 some.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Then he can
with
step back into that whole conversation when all this collusion bullshit is behind this. You know what I mean? And he could dip right back into that mega money like Dak did. Was doing. So.
But you never know, man, because like people will say this and media will say that. You don't know that offer was real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
And they paint narratives are painted all of the time.
Yeah, we don't know. We only know what they tell us. So, you know.
Yeah, there's always three sides to every argument.
I mean, I love Lamar. I mean, he's hurts, but in my opinion, but better. It's just a shame, but I think he's going to get something. But it just. I feel bad for the man.
He might be playing on that $32 million franchise tag.
That's what it looks like, but and he has to play.
Yeah, don't mess up the. I mean, just play on the 32 mil, bro.
Right.
Like, I mean, it is what it is. But I think that they tried to make an example out of him because, I mean, what I didn't know when I did the research was that there are 17 current players that have negotiated their own contracts. Mm-hmm. So imagine Lamar Jackson getting the biggest deal in NFL history without an agent. That's not good for agents. And that's not good for owners. So they got to nip that in the bud. Point. They have to nip that in the bud or else.
And they definitely don't want to do the guaranteed contracts for quarterbacks or for anybody for that matter.
Well, they'll do it for quarterbacks because quarterbacks are protected. I mean, Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed contract before he signed another one. But I just think that it is really like, and I hate to use this term, but the inmates running the asylum. If Lamar Jackson negotiates his own deal and it's the highest paid and it's fully guaranteed, what the hell do I need agents for?
True.
What the hell do I need? What do I need rules for? I really could just not do my own thing, but because it's not easy to negotiate your own contract. Like I was reading that up. Bobby Wagner is one of them. DeAndre Hopkins is one of them. Those are guys that negotiate their own deals. So, and when you hear it, they're like, man, I probably wouldn't do it again, but I mean, you just got to think Lamar Jackson is a guy that don't want to be a face of the league. Right. And then if he negotiates his own deal, it's just.
I would think it's the small points that maybe they have. Hey, listen, I don't know this. I would think the hard part isn't necessarily the money or the guarantees. It's more like the Randy Gregory lines in the contract. If you do this, if you do that, you really got to be well versed in all that type of stuff. It gets pretty, it gets pretty confusing for the layman. So that would be my fear, not having an agent.
My biggest thing that I did not like at the combine, and I'll say this, I don't like how they painted the picture of Lamar trying to get his money. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the difference between wanting your money with having an agent and not? Like, I mean, if you feel like you have your worth, you feel like you have your worth, but don't talk bad on him. Like they talked about him like he was dumb as hell. Like he was just dumb as a box of rocks. Cool. Yeah, that was my biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Because people hold out with agents, and even if he had an agent, he still might not have got the deal done, or they still might be at a standstill right now. It happens all the time. We Cowboys, we know that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the media spin on it. I mean, people are trying to get their money. They're trying to get their money.
You know what? I can't blame him because you look at Lamar. I mean, Hamlin. Literally dying on the field.
Bingo. Yeah.
When you start looking at guys, and this is one of the reasons why I always go to the autograph signing shows. I've gotten Bob Lilly's autograph a million times. It's because these guys aren't taken care of after football, and most of the time they're forgotten.
Yeah.
I know the little bit that I'm spending on an autograph is not that much, but some of these guys end up being penniless and homeless and shit. And so I can't be mad at somebody for trying to get paid. You think about dying on the field. You think about Dak Prescott, us seeing his leg literally just, you don't know.
It brought tears to my eyes.
You don't know.
Play away from being done.
Yeah, not just done with football. You could be, here's how tragic it could be. If Hamlin, it's Hamlin, right?
Yeah,
DeMar Hamlin. I'm having a brain fart. I've been up too late. He's not vested. He's not been in the league long enough. So he may end up being where he never makes another dime. And if he is actually screwed up where he can't work, what do you do for the rest of your life when you're 25 years old?
Well,
ain't nobody taking care of. There is no retirement or pension. You haven't been in the NFL long enough to be vested.
Exactly. And you guys know who was he was a boxer. He's probably one of my favorite boxers. He was the highest paid athlete for about 5 years in a row. Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
So what Floyd did, he changed the landscape of business. Now, it's not necessarily great for boxing, but he did not have a promoter. He was his own promoter, and he hired a team around him in order to negotiate his deals, and he got the highest paydays and the highest paydays. I think that Lamar Jackson probably
hurt himself.
He probably could have took a page out of that book where you don't maybe not hire an agent, but I know that him and his mom were doing it, but get you a smart team around you and do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that changes the landscape of how things are done because, I mean, agents, obviously it shows that agents and owners, there's a collusion between them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why some of the deals get done the way that they do and some of these players get screwed at the end.
Well, and I don't think it's just Lamar and I don't think it's just Deshaun Watson. I think that right now Denver is having the money we paid Russell Wilson to come here for doing that. That they're looking at this and just saying, this is just ridiculous. And at some point you look at that and say, this guy, the quarterback, is making, $40, $50 million. And here it is, the guys that are really doing the hard work and shit are getting like $1 million. And there's just something kind of wrong with that. I get it. There's only a few good quarterbacks out there. But damn, it's getting to be kind of crazy out there. And I think that's where the NFL owners are kind of like, we need to nip this stuff in the bud. Let's not do any of these crazy ones. What's the biggest deal so far? Hargrave to San Francisco?
I thought, didn't Tunsil get paid? I don't know.
How much did Tunsil get?
I'm not sure, but I thought that he got the.
Okay, so that's two. Can you think of any other big deals? Okay, so two.
I can't.
That's it. Last year, it was just like boom, 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 boom. The trades and everything else is flowing. This year, there's been no fizzle in this free agent frenzy.
It seems like all the money's gone to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year,
or it was all the money went last year, and teams are now kind of like, you know what? Or it could be that teams looked and said, the Cowboys didn't get into all this stuff, and they won 12 games.
So I think Tunsil got.
So maybe the Cowboys are trendsetters?
Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think they're trendsetters in the respect that how they do things is great. But we've discussed this. Now, I'm not. Hey, Twiz, I'm just going to tell you right now. You guys hit a home run like me and Mark talked about. Everybody
except for Robert
hit.
Quinn.
That's not normal. You don't hit on everything. You don't. That's not normal. But you do have to supplement the draft with free agency. You can't just draft and just get bottom, like pick up guys for the veteran minimum and think you're going to do something. I mean, you do need to get a couple. You need to be good in what you're doing in free agency. That's all. You have to make the move when it's there to be, made. Don't just make a big move to make it, but
But
maybe
that's not to say that we haven't made some great moves with some bargain basement guys.
Yeah, because really, I mean, Curse, when we signed him for a bag of chips when we first got him, and then
and getting a Terrence Steele, undrafted rookie. I mean,
that's what I want.
We're the best at this undrafted rookie thing, man. We just are.
We're the king of that.
Before we leave tonight, at least
Mama's out of town. I got all night. My cutter's got another hour and a half.
Are you
to
guys
go.
on the same page with me that's all a smoke screen? What they're talking with Tyron Smith? Please tell me that you guys don't think that what they're talking about is real. I think it's a smoke screen.
They're just letting Jerry just be Jerry because it's kind of how many things is Jerry? Jerry said, we love Zeke. We love Zeke. Zeke with his contract and everything's okay, right? He said that.
Yeah, Jerry.
Zeke's gone, ain't he? Zeke's gone, right?
I think Tyron's going to be the swing tackle, and if he's anything other than that,
I agree.
Then
the only way it makes sense is if they're worried about Terrence Steele is not ready to start the season.
What did I tell you 2 months ago, Mark? I told you I saw an interview, and I know it was only
working out too.
He's running without a brace now.
I saw him working out without a brace. So, yes,
I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret.
Go ahead. Secret time.
I knew Terrence. I knew Terrence was good to go way before anybody else did. I just didn't say anything. But I knew
Mark Hutton.
Yeah. There you go.
So right now, as it looks, and I also know that what's name isn't ready yet, but Let's Go had surgery real late. And so he'll be ready for camp, but I think he's gonna be he's gonna be rehabbing all the way up until camp.
Okay.
But if you look at how the line is structured right now, really, I do think that Tyron is gonna be your swing tackle. And the reason I believe that is because the line, if you do it that way, is the same line that you drafted last year when you got Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
Where you got Tyron at the left, you got Tyler Smith at the guard, Biotish, Zach Martin, and then Steele. Now, me personally, I think they're trying to get a left side player. I say left side player meaning more than likely a tackle. I think it's more than likely a tackle. Steve Avila could be the floor guy, but if an Anton Harrison falls or one of these other tackles for some odd reason, a left tackle, you take the left tackle. Tyron is your swing guy, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Mark Hutton, I believe there should be a salary cap per position, not team. You know, there was talk for a while that they were saying that maybe quarterbacks shouldn't be actually part of the salary cap. Somebody had floated that idea at some point, and maybe that could be the case, but I don't know.
I think I like the way it is, except for the quarterback position, because there's no effing way Daniel Jones, and I say that with passion, there's no effing way he should be making $40 million a year.
Well, you think
just because he plays quarterback.
Well, think about the $50 million that they paid Aaron Rodgers the last 2 years.
Yeah, but he at least won 2 MVPs. Daniel Jones ain't done shit. Excuse my French. He ain't done shit.
Yeah, but take a look down the line of guys that have been the highest paid quarterbacks: Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan. They're all better guys. They're all better than Daniel Jones. Oh, I agree with that too.
So, but he's getting paid more than them.
Now, yes, but the
you're
landscape
talking about
changed.
a guy who tucks the ball, runs, and fumbles without getting hit, and he does it all the time.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I'm sorry, but I don't get it, man.
Now, people are gonna say that, is race baiting or whatnot. But I just don't understand how Daniel Jones is any different than what you're saying Lamar is.
He's a cheaper version of.
He's a cheap ass version of Lamar. He's a cheap ass version of Lamar.
Yeah. He's the dollar store Lamar.
Dollar store, yeah. Not even Dollar General. He's the Dollar Tree Lamar.
Shit.
But they had no problem.
Not even the same color. It's like
it's almost like, oh my God, look at him.
Nobody said, oh, Daniel Jones runs a lot. It's very dangerous. Nobody said that shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, how doesn't that come up?
Wait a minute. Josh Allen runs as much as.
Oh, I know.
I
know that. I know this
he
thing.
He hates him some Josh Allen.
Bring it to Josh Allen.
He hates him
What
some
did Josh Allen do to you?
But to me,
I
do love Josh Allen though. He got me some fantasy championships.
With his eggs and shit. Josh Allen. Like, God damn.
Mark loves. He hates him some Josh Allen. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm looking. I want to do a comparison.
You're gonna
here.
look it up and see if he does put ketchup.
Okay, yeah, he's looking for a stat.
Okay, Lamar's injury prone, and Daniel Jones has sucked for 80% of his career. He sucked for 80% of his career.
Contract year, he plays all of a sudden, and we all know about contract years.
Well, listen, he threw for 15 touchdowns. Let's not act like he, I'm just shocked.
He played in 4 more games.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. Now, I mean, I'll give him credit. He's got heart. He's willing to put his nose down and go get the, sometimes stupidly, you got to learn when to get down, my man. Your team needs you. You can't be getting hurt, but he got concussed a lot in his career too. So I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not here to bash the guy, but he got a more than fair deal for. I don't think he's earned it, but it's not my problem. So
at least it stopped people talking about Dak being overpaid.
I mean, I feel you. I feel you. Them boys kicks, my guy. I feel you. But he won a playoff game. But come on, you mean to tell me?
It was Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I was about to say what the hell is Kirk Cousins won and like. You really think the Baltimore wouldn't beat Minnesota in the playoffs? Minnesota was getting their ass kicked by everybody.
I always thought that of Sam Bradford. Every time he got paid, I was like, how the hell is he?
Oh my God,
paid?
Sam Bradford, jeez.
What?
Matter of fact, I want to say
that's true. That's a good one, Sam Bradford.
He made like over $140 million.
He was Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is terrible in prime time. Like I thought that it was a myth. Like no, bro, it's something. There.
Every time you turn around on prime time, he's getting blanked.
Is that young Romo in the clutch? Right?
What are we beating him? 40-3?
Yeah,
something like that. Man,
that's the amazing thing that people don't seem to get, especially Eagle fans. Last 3 games Dak has had against them, we've scored at least 40 points in each one of those games.
Well, Dak's middle name is 40.
I mean, seriously,
40
was the lowest. It's 40, 42, and 50.
It sounds like Dak money, doesn't it? Like 40 million.
Yeah.
3 years, 40 million, 3 games.
But the Eagle fans come in and say, "Oh, Dak regressed. Dak Prescott, Dak Dink missed Scott," and it's kind of like that guy literally lights you up every time he plays you.
He does. I mean, for the most part, he whoops up. Look, the team he struggles with the most actually is Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody else, like shit, the Giants and the Eagles.
The Giants haven't beat him since 2016.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
His rookie year, they got 2.
Yeah, well, who was it that was that you were showing this morning, Mark, that was saying that he likes Daniel
That was
Jones?
Greg. You know what? Greg Jennings and
Greg Jennings,
I know Greg Jennings, but I think that maybe.
Oh, Greg is full of it, bro.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I think he's just
He's full of it, bro.
He's trying to make a name for himself. I mean,
he knows that we're gonna add
It worked
him
for
on
Shady. It worked for Skip Bayless. It
Dan
worked for,
Orlowski,
Colin Cowherd,
Chris Canty, all of them. If you go ahead and trash the Cowboys, you're gonna get publicity. That's what it is.
Like I cannot believe ass made the air.
See, here's why. Here's why Mike Fisher.
Was,
I'm going to tell you.
Shady,
this is why Mike Fisher should be pissed off about YouTube and stuff. That somebody like Shady McCoy can get out there with an ass comment and get blowing up. Okay, that's what you look at.
Put the stats away.
There ain't no
stats away. I use my eye
Shady
test.
on Twitter, so you can go.
Put the stats away. Like what, bro?
Oh boy, Dak is ass.
But then use the stats and stuff for everybody else. Like,
right?
Come on, bro. Like I mean, I get it, bro. Like I don't know. I guess we left a thorn in your side.
Bart Scott's another one.
Scott is pretty bad.
So who? Let's see. Who will it be this year that he'll take over Dak Prescott? Last year was Jameis Winston. I'll take Jameis Winston over Dak Prescott. Before that, it was Teddy Bridgewater. So I guess it'll be I'll take Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott.
Geno Smith. That's what it's going to be.
Wait. You already said that, but I just want to reiterate it. Has Daniel Jones beat Dak?
No. The Giants have not beat the Cowboys since 2016. Period.
No, they beat us.
I'm sorry. They haven't beat Dak Prescott since 2016.
Because they barely beat, who was our backup? Andy
Dalton.
Beat Andy Dalton in that game.
Yes. So, yes, Andy Dalton. And of
everybody
course,
beats Andy Dalton.
Our backup.
Everybody beats him, bro. Everybody gets a turn.
Who was it that went to Carolina? Wait a minute. Oh, Adam Thielen. He got to have CTE. He literally.
He wants to go win a Super Bowl.
No, right. He literally said, Cowboys were interested in me and stuff, but I came to Carolina because I wanted to win a Super Bowl.
I agree with him.
Well, hold on,
you think I'm crazy.
But, okay.
I agree with him.
All right, to that point until he said, because when they signed Andy Dalton, what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Super Bowl. Andy Dalton hasn't ever won a playoff game, hasn't been a playoff game since 2016. And you're talking about a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton? Come on.
Anthony Richardson, bro.
Edward Strickland. Shout out to you, buddy.
Look. He has to show confidence in what the front office did, but they're getting Anthony Richardson at number 1. And the reason that I agree with what he said about the Super Bowl, though, and I know people are going to think that I'm crazy, but Carolina has rebuilt it. They've stunk, and then they've gone back to the Super Bowl multiple times, and we haven't gotten even to the NFC Championship game. So I understood what he was saying in that regard. As far as win now, it's not even close. But I understand it because Carolina has shown the ability to rebuild and bring it back.
All right, I'm gonna blow the roof off the sucker right now. I'm gonna blow the roof off the sucker right now. Is this team that's being built right now the closest team that we have with a chance to go all the way?
Yes.
Because I actually look at the landscape of what's out there right now.
Yes, the NFC.
And what we've done, at least in the offseason.
The NFC don't have quarterbacks anymore.
We haven't gotten worse this offseason.
When you look at each position, you have, in most of the NFL teams, you have one star usually in each position. Like if you look at each position, you have somewhat 2 stars. I mean, minus the quarterback position, but you know, your running back could be possibly after the draft, depending on what direction they go. But in each thing, you have 2 guys that can do that role and do it well. And so I think that kind of what separates it from last year, for example.
East is so good this year, though. It's gonna be good.
I don't know, but the Eagles are kind of in a transition here, and they're gonna have that Super Bowl hangover, and they're gonna have that first place. They're gonna be playing some real quarterbacks this year.
I think they're gonna be good again.
They'll still be good.
I think they're not gonna be as good, but I think they'll still be good. Like maybe 11 wins, something like that, 11, 12 wins. Washington, I think, is gonna be a sleeper. And I said that last year, but the difference is they got a play caller and Eric Bieniemy. Looks like they're making the right moves and stuff that they're doing. The Giants, they had a really good draft last year. They're pretty much bringing guys back. They'll probably have another good draft. So it'll be a tough division. I still think we have the edge over most of them because we have the best quarterback out of the division.
Oh, now, hold on. Everybody else says we got maybe the 3rd best quarterback.
Nah, hell nah. But, I mean, if you want to make the argument that Jalen Hurts is better, you can make that argument. But I still think over longevity, I'm going with Dak, and we've beaten them. You know what I'm saying? Until Jalen has beaten Dak head to head, and I know they didn't get a chance last year.
Right.
Then I can't really say
that they're better.
Yeah.
Well, here's where I look at it. I look at it and I say, secondary, Stephon Gilmore versus Anthony Brown. That's an
upgrade. Yeah.
Linebackers, I'll say we held serve. Okay.
Yeah. We might even be better because
we'll see
guys
what Damone Clark does.
Yeah, they get off season, and plus we get what's his name back too. Gosh, I can't think of his name. Number 50. Oh, I can't think of his name.
If we ever get Jabril Cox to do anything, okay.
Harper?
Yes, Harper.
Okay.
We get Harper back. Yeah.
So, but we can at least say we didn't get any worse at linebacker.
Yeah, we didn't get worse.
Defensive line and edge rushers, we held serve with that. We had, really good edge rushers. We ended up bringing back not Carlos Watkins, Hankins. I think Hankins being in the system for a full, off season, I think will help. I'd like to still upgrade it, but we didn't get any worse there. Wide receiver, we're definitely better.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting Cooks is going to make us better. Hopefully, Michael Gallup will be better than he was last year. A year from that injury. Tight end.
I think we're better.
You think we're better because
I think we're better. I think we get Schultz out of the building, and I think the ceiling, the sky's the limit for these guys.
Okay.
I
Offensive
really
line.
We're about the same.
Not the same.
We're the same because literally the best 5 we have right now is the best 5 we had last year.
Right. Yeah. And running backs, about the same.
I think we're worse.
Maybe a little worse.
I think we're worse.
I'd say we're a little bit worse, yeah.
Because Ronald Jones isn't Zeke. I mean, no matter the thing about Zeke was that it was the money.
Although he has averaged 4.4 yards a carry in his career.
But against a good offensive lines, like great offensive lines.
Okay, all right.
Super Bowl offensive lines,
Here's the advantage that the Cowboys actually may have this year is the element of surprise, too. When you get players from Tampa Bay saying, all we had to do was study film because they didn't change shit from last year and we know exactly how to stop them. Now there's going to be a little bit of, well, what are they doing differently?
True.
That may end up helping you to get a little bit of an advantage, at least early on.
Yeah, I think we got better at coaching. I think I love the coaching changes.
Situational coaching too.
Yeah.
So at worst, we didn't get any worse. In some areas, we got.
We got better. We got better.
I'm kind of
Eagles
offensive line and running back are still, and still for me, I'd like to have an upgrade on the defensive line.
My offensive line coaching, I think, is where my question mark is. I think. But other than that, I mean, I really like this offseason.
I'm happy to get rid of what's his name?
I didn't want him here anymore.
The former Miami coach.
Philbin?
Yeah.
Philbin.
Ironically, last year was his best year.
Yeah.
Or it was the Lions' best year. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was the staff, and he just kind of took credit for it.
Well, apparently they weren't giving no credit for it because they showed his ass to the door.
I mean, I think Duke Manyweather probably had more of an impact than Joe Philbin did.
Jay Smooth, y'all getting the Eagles too much credit. They have a hard schedule. Eagles lost 7 starters so far. Dallas division leaders, no questions asked. Yeah, there is something to that. Nobody has repeated for 20 years,
and they got to have a harder schedule. Yeah,
they're going to play a lot better quarterbacks this year.
They will. I'm just saying I don't think that they'll be a bad team. Like I think they'll be. I think they'll be solid because they still have solid players and they still have the solid core of guys. Like they still got Reddick. You know what I'm saying? They still got Jalen Hurts. They still got that offensive line.
Yeah, but I think losing Hargrave though.
They still got AJ Brown. They still got that secondary. They still got the corner.
And that offensive line is definitely still good.
And then what's his name is going to come back healthy? Nakobe Dean as a linebacker, who was a guy we really wanted. Jordan Davis is going to get better.
Yeah, but Damone Clark's going to be coming back healthy too.
Yeah, I didn't say we weren't bad. I didn't think we were better than Philadelphia. I just said I think they'll be a good team.
Okay.
Yeah, Philly's going to be a better team.
Shout out to
Let's
Amanda Brown. What's up, Amanda?
They got 2, first round picks. I look for them to trade down.
Still got to hit on them.
But I think they're going to trade down at the 10th spot. In my opinion, I would. They only have 5 total picks in the draft. They need to go young too, just for salary cap reasons. You just can't keep going out and signing high-end guys.
Damn, Philly got 2 picks too.
But regardless,
2 first-round
man,
picks, but they only have 5.
They're going to be good. So we cannot. But you like you say, Mark, your first place schedule, yada yada. I'm with DMV. I actually think that the Commanders might be our toughest, or I think they're going to be right there. I really do.
Oh, you can't forget Daniel Jones now.
They're gonna. I'm sorry, the Giants are still the number 4 to me. I think Washington. We all know that they should have made the playoffs last year. If they didn't start Carson Wentz, we know that all 4 of the NFC East teams make it. That last game, they had no reason to start Wentz, man. They basically cost themselves. But I really like the Commanders.
The coach didn't know he could be eliminated.
And the Commanders have a lot of bullets. I think they're going to be tough, man. I think this whole division is going to be that, which I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Coaching got better, and that matters, man. It does.
Yeah,
Mark Hutton.
Well, that's what everybody's forgetting. The Eagles lost their offense and defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's what's going to hurt them. That's what's going to hurt them more than the players.
That jackwagon of a head coach is going to be exposed again this year. I'm telling you, you just wait and see, man. Just wait and see. The only thing they got going for them on that coaching staff is that O-line coach, Stoutman. He's literally the best offensive line coach in the league, Jeff Stoutman. Outside of that...
You think so?
You
think he's the best offensive line coach?
I think Stoutman is.
I'm gonna go.
Not the best. He's up there.
I was gonna go with Callahan. I was gonna go Callahan.
Yeah, he's good. And we had him. No,
I'm just saying. Look at Cleveland.
That bridge.
Look at Cleveland. Yeah. They're always able to run the football.
Yes.
Everywhere he goes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue him, but he's up there. Stoutman's, he's up near the top. But like I said, we didn't lose anybody that we didn't want to lose. We lost Kellen Moore, but I think that's a win, man. I think that's a win. So.
Shout out to Mark Hutton on the super chat there. We need to focus on offensive guard, defensive tackle, and cornerback. Philadelphia.
It'll be interesting because we all got who we want them to take, but it's going to be exciting to see what they do because I do trust in Will McClay. So whatever they do, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they know something that I don't.
Well, we're never happy with whoever we draft.
Oh.
I know. Last year I told you I thought it was one of the worst picks ever for Tyler Smith until I went and watched him. Yeah. Because I wanted Linderbaum so bad. I wanted Devin Lloyd so bad.
That was Phil's boy.
I wanted Tyler very bad.
And honestly, Linderbaum was just as good for Baltimore as Tyler. He might have been better than Tyler Smith was, but Biotish ended up playing as well as he did, so it made the Tyler Smith pick.
What do you think about John Michael Schmitz?
I love him as a prospect. I got a 2nd round grade on him.
That's what I mean. How about this, man? How about?
Oh, here we go.
I like Joe Tippmann.
How about taking Smiths in the 2nd round? Maybe even if we drop down in the 1st, like I said, and got that extra pick that we could assure that we get him. Let's say somebody jumps and takes Avila, like ahead of us or something like that. I was telling Mark, I said, you could put John Michael Schmitz at guard now, even though he's a center. He could play guard, and then we'll see what Biadasz does. If Biadasz takes another step, because I thought Biadasz had a good year. He wasn't Pro Bowl level, whereas John Michael Schmitz, if he played center, he could very well be a Pro Bowler.
And now that the agent can negotiate with Tyler Biadasz having a Pro Bowl title to him, even though he snuck in there, now that might, if you got a guy like him, and
I just mean
Tyler Biadasz contract doesn't go his way you want, you got a guy.
You let him go and get a comp pick.
But what
I'm
I
just
was
saying, like if we lost Avila, okay, and there's a guy out of UCLA that Space was naming, I like Mafi, but let's say that Avila's
that's a big
gone.
nasty guard right there.
So
Jay Smooth is after my own heart. I want Darnell Washington.
Man,
All of it!
y'all are terrible, bro.
Come on, man.
I'll take him at 58. I'm not taking him at 26. That's
No.
a waste of a pick. 26? Okay. And you arguing me about Kyle Pitts?
yeah, right.
Oh boy.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh man. Okay. All right. What else we got to add to this conversation here tonight?
That was something I wanted to add. I can't think about it. I was gonna say, how do you guys feel about, although we have Malik Davis, although we have Ronald Jones, how do you guys feel about doubling up at running back in this draft?
I'd be okay with that. Definitely be okay with that. I want better options than both of those running backs. And I would be happy if you went into the season with those running backs, but I want better options as well, and let them battle in camp and see what we have.
That's where I'm at too, and I think that Washington did that one year, and that's how they ended up with Alfred Morris. I don't know if he led the league in rushing that year, but he was sixth round pick. He beat everybody else out.
I don't think Ronald Jones is a lock to make the team.
Me either. Me either.
So I'm not saying I don't want him to, but let's not. He's okay. He's a stopgap. Before the draft, so we have a.
He runs perfectly with the West Coast offense, the way he runs.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm good, man. I
think the only position that I go into not feeling like we need that is every year I went into the draft wanting is safety, and I think that's like one of the first times where I feel like I don't have to go in there and we don't ever walk away with one. It's like, okay, well we got Bell back there. Just kind of coming up with the rest of them.
Don't sleep on Marquise Bell, man. He's a young kid with a lot of skill. So,
Alan
Williams, now we still have Hooker. There's still moves that can be made on this team. They still have to make a decision on their cornerback. So I don't know that he's on the team.
Kevin Joseph.
You talking about Jordan Lewis or Diggs?
Jordan Lewis, I think that.
So that might end up being an injury settlement to the.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it because the guy is going through a tough time, and he's been a good Cowboy for us. I don't care if he's on the team, but I'm just saying that's what's that $5 million there. So,
Alan Williams. Shout out to Alan Williams on the Super.
He's not going to be ready because DMV was talking about a couple players. I don't believe Jordan Lewis is going to be ready for training camp either. So
I can find that out. I for.
Yeah, I don't believe he's going to be.
So Alan Williams says there's a big offensive lineman, 6'6", 375 pounds. He thinks the Dallas should get. What's his name?
What's that? The one out of?
Was that the one I was talking
about?
I was about to say. I think Dewan is 6'8".
Yeah, that's true.
That's a big man there.
The only thing I don't like about Dewan is that I don't know if he could play left tackle. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I don't know that he has the footwork to play left tackle.
Yeah, that's my only thing about that. Now, if we don't know what's going on with Steele and he's going like late in the year or something like that, and we got to play Tyron at the left tackle, and Dewan is there, then you know what I'm saying, take him. But that's the only thing. I want a left tackle if I'm gonna get a left tackle or a left guard.
Yeah.
I want an O lineman.
You were the big boy.
I want to take care of that offensive line.
I want a left side player. Just like they said last year, I want a left side. Strong side.
Left side. All right. Here's the
Alan Williams.
Here's the big
that's a good question, man. You got Hargrave that was bashing the Eagles, and then you go his C.J. Gardner Johnson says the Lions have more talent. So
we have to combat the defensive linemen in our division because the defensive line for the Giants, Philadelphia, and Washington are very good.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay. All right. Well, here's the big question. This is a huge question.
Uh-oh.
What kind of snacks are we taking on the road?
I knew that was coming.
I'm already going to be there. I'm going to meet you guys there.
Yeah, he's flying in and flying out.
Hey, look,
I'll
trade with you, man.
I got a go-to. My go-to is always gummy bears, bro. Always.
Oh, we've got these fire gummy bears right here.
Oh, no. Ain't going to be no little nitro going in my belly.
There's one right on the front
hey, look, I might try them. Are they Haribo?
I don't know. They're nitro.
No, they're the little nitro. They're
Mike
9 million Scoville units.
Oh shit! It was crazy because Mike and DJ they did it right. Here's the funniest thing that happened. Now, see, Mike said he chewed the whole thing up. It burned the hell out of his mouth, but then once it did, he got through it. BJ swallowed the damn thing.
It was like a damn.
And so, and he was close, and he was like, I'm just going to smell the milk. I'm just going to smell. It's like, smell the milk. And he grabbed that and just threw that shit down. Oh, that was funny. Oh, it was funny. Mike was over there in a fetal position on the couch.
Terrible, man.
But, there is one right there.
No, I'm good, bro.
You sure?
I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, unless people want to donate to my channel
there you go.
For the draft, if you guys want to, each subscriber $1, then I'll do it.
Well, everybody, we are going to be hitting the road on Wednesday morning as soon as game time gets here. So about 10 o'clock, we'll be driving. I know we're going to be going through Kansas City.
Marcus
I'm sorry. I think we go through Cincinnati and St. Louis. So we probably should stop at St. Louis and try their barbecue and then compare it to Kansas City's barbecue.
I'm down with that. I'm down with. Look, I already told you once before.
And if we stop in Cincinnati, we got to get some Cincinnati chili. Oh, no, wait a minute. We're going to be in the car. No, forget the chili.
Yeah, fuck that, bro.
I'll be riding with the windows down. Okay.
But we got to be careful in St. Louis, though, man. It might be a little rough.
You ain't kidding.
Saint lunatics out there, baby.
You ain't kidding about that. We'll let Brian do the driving through St. Louis. Okay. We'll be safe then. Okay. Yeah. How's the Red Brick House? The Red Brick House is coming along really good. We actually have internet there right now, and we have electricity. So Monday night, I might be live streaming from there. Oh, forgive me for yawning. I've been up all night because tomorrow is the CSA show in Chantilly. We've got Tony Dorsett. We've got Bob Lilly. We got Randy White. We have Michael Irvin.
Michael
Irvin's going to be there. Diggs is going to be there. Micah Parsons is going to be there.
You got to talk to Irvin and tell him that you had.
You definitely have to talk to Irvin.
Okay.
He's probably watched your videos. He's had
no. Okay.
You got to talk to him and tell him that you had what? Bren, is that his name?
Yeah.
Bren?
Well, here's the thing. I did a video that was, and it was just making this plaque, one of those ones. And it says, get up, stand up, and never, I can't remember, his saying from the Hall of Fame. And it's a print of him from the Hall of Fame. I'm going to give him that tomorrow.
Nice.
So, and hopefully, some of those videos have had a couple 100,000 views on them. Maybe he will remember or has seen some of them and stuff, and he'll kind of acknowledge or something. But we'll see. But we'll definitely be there tomorrow. I know I've had some people that I've seen every year since like 2012 that I hope I get to see tomorrow too. So we're going to have fun with that. In fact, I've got plenty of work still to do tonight on it. So before we get out of here, I want each one of you guys to tell people about your channel and what you got going on and how you got started in YouTube.
Yeah, are we looking at me first?
Go ahead.
I got you.
You're in the house.
I am DMV fanatic. Everybody, formerly known as DMV Dallas Cowboys. I got started I did like a running back video a long time ago. I didn't think it was going to hit, but it did, and I didn't do anything for a long time. And then my guy Clarence met Mark at a post office or something, and he put us in contact. I came over.
He scared the piss out of me. Look, no, I'm literally driving up to the post office. I get out of there because this is when I first started taking all the packages in there. All of a sudden, this SUV pulls up. You're Mark Holmes. And I'm like,
Clarence is a big dude, by the way.
He is. And I'm like, yeah.
Clarence is about 6'4". You know what I'm saying? I'd have been scared too.
But it's like, it's like,
and he had a big Hummer too. Yeah.
I was like, damn, bro, don't sneak up on a brother like that. So I'm sorry to interrupt on that.
Yeah, so Clarence, put us in contact, and the first time I talked to Mark, we talked on the phone for about 2-3 hours, and he was like, "Yeah, come by the crib or whatever." Mm-hmm. I met E2 Blue, and then Mark talked me into continuing to build, and that was the same year that we did the Draft or Bust tour, and
that was so much fun.
Yeah, and so I've been rolling ever since. But yeah, DMV fanatic. I'm gonna start doing some daily shows, some daily lives, countdown to the draft, and I can't really wait to bust it with these guys all the way down to Kansas City and this season.
Get your sleep before the draft. Get your sleep, man. We ain't sleeping. We ain't sleeping the whole time. We got a lot of work to do, man.
I'll probably be up before y'all, man. I'll probably be up before
I'm
y'all.
an early riser, so it'll be fun.
I probably won't go to sleep because Tuck is like, man, I got some stuff planned for you when you get out there. I'm like,
oh shit.
No, look, last year we went to go see Rick Ross. We went to Gronk's pool party.
Oh shit.
Tuck does it big, man. So yeah,
shit.
Yeah, J Tuck got pool, man. So he said he got some stuff.
So wait a minute. So does the old guy get to go too?
I mean, if you could stay, look, my feet were killing me last year. I had to walk, and we had to try and find. That's another thing too.
Get good shoes.
We should be in walking distance to where we're going, so we're good.
Yeah.
But in Vegas, Vegas.
Oh, you're walking all over the place.
Yeah. So my feet were killing me last year. So yeah.
I'll be the old guy to come. What you doing, girl? Come on in, girl. I didn't want none of that ass anyway, girl. Yeah, you ugly too.
I don't know though. I don't know, man. We'll see, man. We'll see what Kansas City talk about.
Don't ever hop in those limos in Vegas.
Oh shit!
Because I did that a couple years ago. Me and my boys, we were out there, and limo comes up. Yeah, hop in. I'll give you a free ride to the strip club. This damn limo had no lights working on the inside. We get there. It was free admission, but you had to buy like 2 drinks. And so it was my turn to buy a round. There was 5 of us. It was like $25 a damn drink. I'm like $125. I'm like, all right, man. I basically just paid for the damn limo and whatever. But it was fun though.
You know how you buy a round for people when you're not trying to spend that much or you're in an expensive place? You just buy everybody shots.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I mean you're paying for the Coke in the Sprite or whatever the club soda. Right.
That's
but
true.
It's ironic because they give you that stuff for free when you're at the bar. Mm-hmm. If you go and say I want a ginger ale, you're not gonna have to pay. Or hey, I want a club soda. Okay. But when you buy a drink, they're gonna charge you $25. But a shot is like $10. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask me why, but maybe you're paying for the lime.
Don't know. All right, game time.
Game time. Yeah, you can find me Game Time Brian on Twitter and YouTube. It's funny that DMV, I'm starting to realize he's really into boxing, and I'm a long time sport. I played baseball at a pretty high level. Didn't get to the pros, but I've always been a big boxing guy. I actually used to work at Trump Plaza way back in the day when Tyson was always there. I got a cabinet full of memorabilia, like boxing memorabilia. So it's cool that he's a boxing guy. It's a shame because boxing has kind of slipped over the years.
Oh my god!
For sure. That's a late,
But yeah, maybe I'll bring some stuff down. And I really don't. There's a few things you probably get a kick out of as far as old school pins that are probably worth some money. But yeah, man, just hanging out with you guys. The whole YouTube thing was kind of a surprise to me, honestly. I wasn't looking to do this. Mark, they kind of opened the door, and then I met Phil, and we started doing a show, and who would have thought, man? I really enjoyed doing it, so I hope to keep it going. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I'm loving it.
There you go. Prime time.
What's going on, guys? Primetime Phil. You can find me in Primetime Phil, Primetime Studios on YouTube. I started about 2 years ago. The first year, I kind of just did my my just videos and talked about the news that was going on, put some quick stuff up there. And I wanted to do live, but never really kind of had the balls to really do it. And then after the draft, really being introduced to it more, I think that's kind of when it ran, and I was able to meet Game Time, and luckily that actually grew on its own, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner on that one. So I'm very, very happy. I know I'm excited to meet all you guys because I've been watching you guys prior to it as well too. So even Jay Tuck, I mean, I'm interested. I definitely watch him, and so I love his input. So I just meeting a guy like that as well too. That's just awesome. So I'm excited about this trip, and I think it's a combination of two things because I'm also excited about what the Cowboys have been doing this offseason, and it's my first draft. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff there. So I like it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. Before we leave, I remember, and I mentioned this the other day, my brother was an offensive tackle in college, played for a school up in North Jersey, and I've been around football my whole life. I remember the local high school all-star game. I remember being on a sideline, and he was playing against Willie Anderson. You remember Flipper Anderson? He was on the team. Mike Rozier. I mean, it was a stacked all-star game. But football's in my blood. And I remember ever since I was a little guy with the NFL draft, man, I would just be locked in front of the TV for every pick, man. And that's why last night doing that, Phil, and you were playing the ding. The chime. Come on, man. That gives me goosebumps. I've always been into the draft. I'm really looking forward to going down there and seeing it. And, from the other side we're always watching it on TV. So I'm really curious to see how it is in person. I'm hoping that there's going to be energy and it's not just empty. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see how that's going to be.
Yeah. It's amazing because the first draft I went to was 2013. I think it was when we drafted Travis Frederick. And at that time, it wasn't the event that it is now. They had 500 tickets that they sold to actually fans, and that was it. There's no NFL Village or anything like that. It was just on television.
Now, man, it's crazy.
And then it finally went to Chicago, and that's where all of a sudden it just blew up. It's just crazy how the NFL can sell you anything. We are just like, NFL whores. We'll do anything to get some more football. And this is crazy because this is off season and it just feels like we're still in the middle of the season and stuff. I look forward to hitting the road and talking about this draft for 1,000 miles and stuff and hanging with the guys. One of the greatest trips that I ever remember was being on that road trip to Dallas for the draft and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Edwin Strickland. Do I like Rashid? Let's see, Rice. Rice.
Rashid Rice out of SMU.
I think you would like him. Mark. Like that's kind of my thing, bro. If y'all want a tight end, I get a Rashid Rice. I would rather get a receiver. Personally,
because he doesn't have the speed, but man, he can run routes and he just gets open, and he's a physical player.
He blocks his ass off. I mean, like if you thought George Pickens was a blocker, they're about the same. Like I mean,
that's a third round guy too, so it's not like you have to invest in something like him.
It sounds like we could get some guys that could really potentially help us get over the hump.
There's a lot of good players in this draft.
That's why I say don't focus on certain things. Just let it fall the way that it's going to fall because the roster is built right now to where it can withstand almost anything that you can draft.
Philadelphia, I do a little bit of sports betting because I was doing stuff with BUSR. All right, so with that being said, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Tomorrow morning, like I said, we will be at Chantilly's CSA show tomorrow. We'll definitely be there bringing you guys some coverage, and hopefully you guys will enjoy all of that. And before I go, I got to do this.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire him. Motherfucker! Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot! What an idiot! Dallas has Amari Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver. Jefferson his ass. He's stupid. I fire his ass. I fire his ass. I mean, Howie's got to be stupid. What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him.
It never gets old. It never, ever gets old. I appreciate everybody being here. It's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing.